Guruve Gaura Chanjaya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My Dandavat Pranam devotees. So very brief video that came as a result of a discussion I had. It wasn't really a question that was sent in, but it was a discussion that I had with someone. And we were just talking about the means by which Vaishnavas should reconcile differences, because from time to time it is maybe unavoidable with such a vast theological basis for Krishna consciousness that there won't be sometimes misunderstandings, different visions or angles of vision, the way people see things. People may glean what they even hear from their Guru Dev individually. They may hear it or digest it differently. So how to reconcile differences, and especially how to do so in a way that maintains Vaishnava Dharma. So, of course, what we mean by Vaishnava Dharma is, most importantly, that no aparad becomes committed. So, Hanti Nanti Vaidveshti, Vaishnav Navinandati Krujyate, no Harshanam Darshane. So 6 things are considered Vaishnava aparad, and Pattananishat, they're the cause of falling down from one's position, no matter how elevated that position may be. So obviously those who have pure devotion, the nature of bhakti itself would not allow them to commit Vaishnava aparad, because Vaishnav and Bhagavan are abhed, Hridaya abhed. They're like of one heart. So those who have realized something in bhakti, then they will not have this tendency, Ninda Adi Sunya Ida Ipshita Shangalavya. It's mentioned in Upadeshamrita. They don't have even the tendency to criticize. So, of course, Ninda has more meanings than just blasphemy or criticism. It also means to critique something, like in Ishtagoshti. So it doesn't mean that there's not discussion and analysis of things, and operationally in terms of practical things, discussions on how to do something better for the service of Hari Guru and Vaishnava, but they don't have the tendency for malice in terms of blasphemy and so forth and so on, and that should obviously be avoided. So one of the big things in reconciling how to have Vaishnava discussions is avoiding certainly Vaishnava aparad. So that, in fact, I would say that's the main thing. Of course, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's also mentioned Siddhanta Bhaila Chittana Kara Ulas Yahoite Lage Krishna Shuddhida Manash. That actually, and different people have different interpretations of this verse, but in application, I've even heard my own Guru Parapadma mention that the healthy discussion of a Siddhanta, the removal of doubts, the clarity on Tattva Siddhant, and so forth, it's not only helpful when those discussions go on among devotees, but actually it's very pleasing to Krishna, because the intent of the discussion should be to obtain the truth. We know there's 3 types of discussion: Vada or Samvad, Prajalpa or Jalpa rather, and Vitanda. So of course, Vad is what we want. We want Vad, in fact Samvad. We want complete discussion to come to a consensus on what is the Siddhant or the truth of a matter. We don't want to do things just to hear ourselves speak. We also don't want to have the mood, I need to win at all costs. So, with reckless abandon, let me just bombard the conversation unlimitedly with my own point of view, without any idea of being able to see another perspective, and therefore go to our, which I'm going to speak about now, go to our reconciling methodology, which is to examine Guru Sadhu Sastra. This is the only methodology that's been given by our contemporary acharyas and our purva acharyas for reconciling theological differences, right? Sometimes there is the idea, well, I heard something from my Gurudev, and because I heard it from my Gurudev, then that's it. It's a wrap. I don't need to have to validate it in any other way. And of course, Narottam Das Thakur has mentioned Guru Mukha Padma Vaikya Chittate Kauri Aikya, that we should make this statement of our Gurudev one with our heart. But the implication here also is that my Gurudev would never say anything which is contrary to Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra. That's why Guru gives this methodology as the reconciliation, the verification, or the vetting of everything said. This is the difference between genuine Guru and perhaps not genuine Guru, is that real Guru, Sadguru, says we should vet everything by Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra. Now there are some, what is called Sadhu Vakya, right? Arsha in the Praman system, there's different kinds of Praman. One kind of Praman is called Arsha, or Sadhu Vakya, which means some sayings of the Sadhu, especially in the matter of Ras Vichar, are not things which can be sort of captured or encapsulated only in discussions on Siddhanta. So putting that aside, those things which are theologically based in Siddhantic backing, which means Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra, we should feel comfortable in discussing those things without malice and without any ill will, etc., etc. So this is actually Vaishnavism, and one of the meanings of Rupa Goswami's Guyam Akyati Prichati in the 6 symptoms of loving exchange is that devotees can do this. They can do Guyam Akyati Prichati. Prichati means inquiring and revealing confidences. So that means what you realize from your Guru Pada Padma and also from Sadhu and Sastra. So there is a statement that is written, I believe this is from Jiva Goswami Pad, right? Virudo Vakyayor Yatra Na Pramanamyam Tadishyate Yata Virudhathat Chasyat Tat Artha Kalpyate Tayor. Whenever there's two scriptural statements seemingly contradictory, that seemingly, this is an important word, seemingly contradict each other, one is not taken as inauthentic in preference of the other. One should try to understand the meaning in such a way that the contradiction is resolved. So anytime there is theological so-called contradictions, we should look at everything from the point of looking at reconciliation, not looking at broadening the gap. In other words, we don't want to create a situation in which in-group, out-group, or outside your side develops. Rather, we want to look at theological reconciliation. Where we fail to be able to do that, then in a great humility, we should think, oh, somehow or another, some lacking in me has not allowed me to get clarity enough to create reconciliation. So we should look at it, and this is the humility. We should look at it, oh, my fault, somehow I could not reconcile this thing. I will go back, do deep bhajan. I will go back and do deeper investigation, inquire from high class of sadhus to see if I could find this reconciliation. I won't take a stance, absolutely that person's wrong, we're only right, etc., etc. So in our discussion, we brought up the fact that there is a system for how to discuss these things. One, especially if you're discussing outside of the arena of your immediate spiritual family, you first have to establish what is going to be the common praman. Where will be common, mutually agreed praman. So that's the first thing that has to be established, because somebody may say, my guru said this, and then I say, well, my guru said this. So we have to go in terms of the Puravacharyas or our Guru Vargas, where we mutually establish what authority do we mutually accept. So for instance, everyone accepts the writings of Sat Goswami. Everyone accepts, even down to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad, right? So of course, in our Bhaktivinoda Dhara, we accept also, as Saptam Goswami, all the writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Outside of the Bhaktivinoda Dhara, they may not accept that. So we should be prepared to have discussions where we can, because we know Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur will not say something different from the Purvaracharyas. And if so, it's something that we can reconcile in our Bhaktivinoda Dhara. But we should be able to, and willing, if we're going to have the discussion at all, to go back to a mutual authority, whether it is Baladevi Jabushin, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, etc., and going back. So that's one way to help, especially in discussions outside of your immediate spiritual family to have a mutual authority everyone recognizes and say, okay, let's look at the explanations and writings of this particular charya and try to glean something from that. So this was meant to be an extremely short video just to bring up 2 points. One was that the idea of reconciling apparent contradictions should be the aim and objective whenever any theological contradiction or disagreement comes up. Secondly, we have to be extremely careful about committing Vaishnava aparad. So when any theological difference arises, we have to be very careful not to align with this is my side, that's their side, and never the twain shall meet. And in fact, they're the anti-party and we're the real party. Now, there are situations in which offenders, aparadis, etc., that is a different case. But then the position here would be, if you have Majjamadikar, apeksha, we won't have association with them. But those who are either in our immediate Bhaktivinoda Dhara spiritual family, or those who are in the broader range of the Vaishnava Mandal, and even into the, like Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says, Sujane, Guru Goste Gostalye Shu, Sujane, Guru Sugane, even those who are in other Vaishnava Sampradayas who have discussion in a way that doesn't lead to my party, anti-party, or anything that could create aparad. Right? So that was the point of this very short, right, kind of discussion about how to look at reconciliation as the main focal point of any kind of theological disagreements. All right, my Dandavat Pranam devotees. Panchakalpatruvescha kripa shinduvevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Radhe Radhe.